What's goody? Hey man, I'm here to argue right now that the NBA just had literally its worst weekend of its entire existence. And I don't know everything that's ever happened throughout NBA history, and I don't know what the previous worst weekend was in NBA history before this. I don't know what fans thought was like the worst stretch of days the NBA's ever had as an organization, but it was the last low key. We could skip All Star Saturday, and we could say the last 24 hours is some of the worst that the NBA's ever had. But I want to talk about everything. Forget the All Star game. That's secondary. Forget All Star Saturday. That's secondary. We need to talk about the big elephants in the room, the things that came out over this weekend, the things that you, and probably most of NBA Twitter that's not a disgusting person, or somebody whose eyes are blind and needs to repent and come to the Lord right now, saw it and was disgusted by it. I have four people in this video who I'm going to be referencing the most and hating on and eviscerating the most. Their names are LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Michael Jordan. Four of the greatest players to ever play this game. Before this weekend, I thought two of those guys were the two greatest to ever play this game. Now, congratulations to guys like Kareem, Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving. All of you guys are my goats. Tyrese Halliburton, you can get up there too. Anyways. First of all, let's start with LeBron James. LeBron James was asked a question by an Israeli journalist who I don't even understand why there was an Israeli journalist at All-Star Weekend. Matter of fact, let's forget about LeBron James. Let's start with the NBA. Okay, so I understand that the Israeli genocide was going on between Israel and Pakistan and Palestine, what's going on in Israel and in Gaza right now. I understand it's not been nationally televised throughout the United States. I understand that as somebody who's young and none of us are really watching the news or putting on cable news or anything like that, most of my news comes from social media, comes from my own research, comes from stuff like that, right? So you and I may not understand just truly the extent of what's really going on in Gaza, and I'm here to say that you and I don't understand truly the extent of what's going on in Gaza. But for LeBron James, one of the most connected, wealthy, influential, most well-known faces, people of the last 25 years, for you to get asked a question by an Israeli journalist, and I'm going to get back to the NBA in a second, but for you to get asked a question by an Israeli journalist, and for you to say things like, oh, I don't know if I have any fans over there, but if I do, I inspire them. I hope that I inspire them to be just a better basketball player and a better person on and off the court, and I've heard nothing but great things about Israel, and I would love to visit. I need everyone to understand what's happening right now. Current day Israel, the acts that they are committing against Palestine and in Gaza is comparable to other genocides throughout history. We can go to the Holocaust. We can go to slavery in America. We can go to the Trail of Tears, which if you don't know what that is because your history class failed you, that's when all the white settlers and explorers from America were going over to take land over from the West, and they genocided a whole bunch of hundreds of thousands or millions of Native Americans. We can compare it to that genocide. We can compare it to genocides that have happened in the Congo, whether that be during a war or during a Belgian regime of a colonizer. We can go back to the Rwandan genocide. We can look at that genocide, and we can go through all these examples, and we can say, okay, these are what genocides throughout history look like. Israel's doing one right now. So for us as America, as supposedly the best country in the world, the most progressive country in the world, with a bunch of us being woke, and all of us are supposed to be the supporters of peace, and this is the presidency of peace, this is the most peacetime president we've ever had, for the NBA to allow a journalist from the Israeli side, mind you, I didn't hear nobody say that. I didn't hear nobody from Palestine ask a damn question. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a Palestinian journalist there the same way there was an Israeli one, and maybe he asked a question or she asked a question, and maybe that question just didn't go as viral. Maybe I'm wrong. My bad then, if I'm wrong. But I heard an Israeli journalist go up there and ask the most famous basketball player probably of all time a question about a state that is a nation, a place that is currently committing a genocide on a whole race of people just because they believe that they are in their promised land and they have no right to that, which is biblically untrue. And he went up there and pretended like he had never heard anything bad about the place. He went up there and basically said he had no idea what was going on over there, but he said, hey, I've heard nothing about great things. That's the equivalent of going back to 1945 and saying you've heard nothing but great things about Nazi Germany. That's the equivalent of going back to 1785 and saying you've heard nothing but great things about the American South. That's the equivalent of going back to the 1900s and living in the Congo and living through what they're living through. That's the equivalent of going back to the Rwandan genocide of 10, 15, 20 years ago and living through what they lived through. And saying, hey, I've heard nothing but great things about the oppressors over there. That's like going to live in North Korea and saying you've heard nothing but great things about Kim Jong-un willingly, not because he was forced to tell you. That's like living under Saddam Hussein and saying, yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about the guy. Are we serious right now? On national television in the middle of the All-Star game, a weekend that's supposed to be about celebration. It's the 250th birthday of America this year. The NBA is doing great things. It's supposed to be USA versus World. We're marketing it like the Olympics, which I have a problem with in and of itself. And we can't even do that right. If we're marketing it like the Olympics, why is all I'm getting Israeli propaganda? I didn't hear nobody ask nothing about the United States. The only country that got questions asked about it was Israel. The only flag that I saw viral go on anybody's jersey was the Israeli one. So don't sit here and pretend to me like we're trying to make this like it's a celebration of America with all the commercials about America's 250th birthday and all the commercials about USA versus World. And we're going back to Anthony Edwards and Steph Curry and LeBron James and Kevin Durant in the Olympics when they played against Steph Curry and against Jokic and Victor Wembanyama and all these guys on the way to the gold medal. It can't be the Olympics if we're repping Israel and not the United States, first of all. Second of all, I'm not even understanding why we're allowing these questions to be asked about Israel. Are we serious right now? Nobody would have came into America in 1945 asking a Nazi reporter from Nazi Germany was not coming into America in 1945 and asking American athletes, what was the biggest sport at the time, the MLB? Go and ask Babe Ruth how he felt about Nazi Germany, and Babe Ruth was just like, oh, I've heard nothing but great things. I'd love to meet that guy Hitler, that mustache guy, great guy, love him. If that happened, I'm appalled by that too. But to my knowledge, that never happened. So why are we just sitting here pretending like this is okay? Like the fact that question even was allowed to ever be asked isn't because I have seen NFL players get fined hundreds of thousands of dollars for wearing eye black that supported Palestinians. I have seen NBA fans get thrown out of NBA games for supporting Palestinians, but we're going to allow journalists and invite journalists in and invite the Israeli flag in while they're currently out there trying to kill millions of people just because they live somewhere that they don't want them to live and they look away. They don't want them to look while living there. And then we got Steph Curry, who the information's coming out, and I'm assuming it's real because I have no reason to believe it's not. And in my opinion, we're at the point now where unless I have a firm reason to believe based on the fruit of your life and of your career that you are following Jesus and you are not following Israel or the devil or whoever you want to idolize, I'm believing what comes out. Because I'm not about to sit here and worship a celebrity the same way they're worshiping these demons, and then I'm far away from God just the same way they are. Hey, man, I'm not trying to sit here and pretend like I'm perfect or anything like that, but you're not about to get me to do that. You ain't about to get me to sell my soul. I don't care if it's Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant. Those are my two favorite players of all time. So I don't care if it's LeBron James, Kevin Durant, other two of my top 10 favorite players of all time. Two guys that I grew up loving and watching the sport of basketball. I don't care, buddy. I don't care if it's Barack Obama. I don't care who. I don't care if it's anybody other than Jesus Christ. I do not care what comes out. I'll believe it. Because there is nobody that I'm idolizing so much that I believe you couldn't have done any wrongdoing when it comes to these celebrities, comes to these athletes and stuff like that. I love Steph Curry. He's my favorite basketball player of all time up until yesterday. But that doesn't mean I'm about to sit here and pretend like, there's just no way. Just because he didn't say it as loud as Kevin Durant did on his burner account or LeBron James did on national television, he also ain't said nothing to condemn him either. And that, I think, speaks volumes. You don't think, because if I'm Steph Curry and I hear these allegations coming out and I actually don't support Israel, that's the first thing I'm coming out about. I saw somebody in KLT4Q's mentions yesterday when he mentioned how crazy everything was that was going down. The first thing they asked him was, do you support Israel, Kenny? He goes, no. That's all you have to do. So for you to sit here and try to pretend like Steph Curry's innocent when he hasn't even done that, it's the exact same thing that people in the Epstein files are doing. They're in the files and they just ignore it. If we are going to accept that from them, why would we accept it from Stephen Curry about Israel? I'm not accepting that. Unless he wants to come out and say, no, I didn't do it. Boy, you did it to me. Because I know you've heard the allegations. I know somebody in your camp heard the allegations. Come on now. I've seen the picture of you with that wall. Come on now. Kevin Durant out here on his burner account talking about if they need drones, we got them. Are you dead ass? 3 black men are out here being the face of the IDF right now. 3 men that pretend like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Russell and Oscar Robertson. People who pretend while they're in these people's faces like they're the greatest of all time and like they respect all they did, the activism they did. You want to sit there and read the book if you're LeBron James or Malcolm X and try to get all the PR about reading the book. But then you don't live like them. You didn't learn not one thing from the book, probably because you didn't read it. And you want to sit here and you want to pretend like all these idols are, you're idolizing all these older guys who did all these things. but then right when you're in their face, but then when you turn your back, you're funding the exact same people that these guys would have hated. You're a hypocrite. You're spineless. You're soft, and you're a sellout. I'm talking to all three of you. Michael Jordan, I'm not done, buddy. That video that I saw of you at the Daytona 500, you're worse than all of them. You're the worst of the worst. In fact, there is no explanation. There is no context. There is nothing that's ever going to make that okay. As a father, as a man who has a younger brother who's a toddler right now, nah, there is nothing you can do that's going to make that okay. For you to do that, man, I'm not even about to get into that too much because I'm about to get, like, that right there is about to make me mad to a level I can't even describe right now. Like, I'm about to start sweating, so I can't even touch that subject right now. But my goodness, man, it says a lot when some of the faces of a league for the last 50 years all have a lot of these allegations come out about them in the same weekend. At the same time where the NBA and the people up top seem to be promoting gambling, promoting Israel, and promoting things that are overall to the detriment of the game and that the average fan hates every single day more and more. Where we got Adam Silver talking about, hey, maybe I will get rid of the draft. What? Where we got Adam Silver talking about the Giannis thing, having that 1% partnership with Kalshi isn't a problem. What? Jonte Porter just got a lifetime ban. What are we talking? You see what I'm saying, though? All of it is that deep. All of it. We're not mad enough, because if we were mad enough, we would stop watching the NBA. If we were mad enough, we would stop spending money at Frida Baby. If we were mad enough, we would stop giving money to these people. If we were mad enough, we would actually be calling for something to happen. We would be impacting them where we know it hurts. The one thing they idolize most is money. So if you make them start feeling that money is going away, I promise you we'll see something. I was watching this YouTube video yesterday, and it's from this channel called Bible Animations. And if you've never heard of it, you should go look. You should go check them out. And it was explaining how we as Christians, as believers in Jesus, should feel about Israel today, because that's something I had been conflicted on, because I was kind of confused about. It seemed like I was understanding that, okay, they lost their blessing because they rejected Jesus, and then that was transferred over to the church through the new covenant with Jesus and the apostles. They went on to all these churches in Rome and all these places, right? And I was like, okay, cool, I understand that. But then I was just like, and I see what they're doing now, so I figured they were going completely. I thought Israel was cut off completely. But then Bible Animations pulls up 20 different verses and explains 10 different stories to me that I've read my own self 10 different times and just didn't understand them this way, that show me that while Israel is worshiping demons and the devil right now, and while they are lost right now, eventually Jesus is going to get sick and tired of it once the right number of Gentiles, once the right number of you and me have started following Jesus to make them jealous. Jesus is going to come back, deal with them, and only a remnant of them will be left, but he will save that remnant. That's how I understand it. So really what we have to do is keep praying, keep speaking out, keep doing everything you can to get more disciples, keep doing everything you can to minister to as many people as possible. If you see something, say something. If it's happening in this world, speak out about it. I don't care how small your platform is. Look at mine. Just do it. If you are getting even one disciple, I promise you, from everything that I've read in the Bible, God is proud of you for that. So just go out there and try to make disciples. We need to make sure we're doing our part to get as many people to believe in Jesus Christ as possible, so that way the appointed time can come for him to come back down and cleanse all this out. Because that's what I'm ready for. He's got to come down and cleanse all this out. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not going to lie to you. On to the All-Star game. I mean, should I make that a different video? No, I just do it right now, I guess. I don't really have that much to say. It was trash. On to the All-Star weekend. The dunk contest was terrible. It's time to get rid of it. Keyshawn Johnson, the only thing I remember from it is Jace Richardson falling. Hope you're okay, by the way. And Keyshawn Johnson dancing after every single dunk. And old boy Carter Bryant apparently got robbed. I didn't watch it, bro. The dunk contest came on at 5 p.m. It's Valentine's Day. I'm chilling with my girl, minding my business, and I'm looking at my phone, and I said, wait, what do you mean vote for the dunk contest winner? Dog, it's 6 o'clock. I'm thinking the festivities don't start till 7, at least. I'm thinking really we don't get nothing starting until 8. I'm thinking we get the dunk contest at 8, or maybe we get the three-point contest at 8, we get the dunk contest at like 9, and then boom, we're out of there at 10. That's what I'm thinking was going to happen. No! They started, the whole night was over by 8 o'clock. Same with the All-Star game. The game starts at 5 p.m. and mind you, it's in LA, so for them it's starting at 2 o'clock. I'm eating lunch and going right to the All-Star game where I have to see all this Israeli propaganda and an empty ass stadium, weak ass presentation, a whole bunch of strobe lights to try to hide the fact that it's an empty ass stadium, and then the format doesn't even make sense to me. The commentators aren't even the best. All I'm hearing for the first 45 minutes of the game was, wow, just look how hard everyone's playing. Yeah, bro, I can see they're playing a little harder, but damn, are we glazing enough? We begged for it for 5 years, finally. Like, damn, okay. Congrats. Man, if I would have been, and it costs $1,000 minimum to get in. So if I would have been at bro, you have no idea how mad I would have been. I'm gonna get there. Jokic and Luka aren't even gonna play. Team World's gonna lose every single game, even though Wemby's putting everything into it because nobody's playing on their team. I'm gonna watch Kawhi. Listen, it was the best. When it comes to effort, it actually wasn't a bad All-Star game. It's just the format didn't make sense. Like if this had been an East versus West night, it would have been It would have been a much better night. It feels like the broadcast feels slow. It feels clunky. It felt like it was like, it just felt complex. It felt like, I thought there was only 3 games from the way they explained it. And then I'm like, damn, there's a 4th game now? I'm like, what's going on? Who even won? I don't even understand how the winners won. Like, I don't know because both teams had 1 loss. So I don't really know what was going on with the format and everything like that. But Kawhi Leonard was balling. Anthony Edwards won the MVP. He had a good night. Victor Wembanyama was balling. I love the passion from him. I think those 2 guys, and Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Edwards, are going to do a lot in terms of bringing the All-Star game and just All-Star weekend back. I remember what Victor Wembanyama did in the skill challenge last year. I know that he's the reason we don't have a skills challenge anymore, but whatever. You know, he was bringing that intensity, he was bringing that passion to the All-Star game, and I love that at the very minimum. But yeah, man, it's just, I don't even have too much to say about that stuff because it's like, All-Star weekend was disappointing. All-Star Saturday was terrible. The entire event Saturday was terrible. You know that without even having to watch it. You know that it was stupid that the stuff was starting at 5 p.m. Right? You know that. You can go see that on Twitter. I'm just more, it's just that is the cherry on top of everything else. Of 4 of the greatest players and the most recognizable faces of this entire league. The stuff that happened about them this weekend is the headline. Whatever, the All-Star game being mid and All-Star Saturday being the worst All-Star Saturday of all time is whatever. The only thing I even remember from All-Star Saturday was Damian Lillard coming out there with 1 leg and winning the 3-point contest, and I don't even know who we win against because I didn't watch it because it started at 5 p.m. Oh, man. Like 5 p.m. on Valentine's Day, like who doesn't have a dinner plan on 5? Like if you have a girlfriend, or if you have a significant other, you have a dinner plan. Go to, like, what? You're doing something. Like I was being, even if I wasn't going to be at dinner, I was going to be being forced to watch Love is Blind. So I wasn't going to be able to watch that anyway because I would have been beat. Anyways, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching as always. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't given your life up to Jesus, please do it, bro. Please pray about it. I'm praying for you. I just listen, if you don't trust it, pray to him. Just pray. In general, say, okay, if there's a God out there, show me who you are and show me who I should follow. And I bet God will help you. Because why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, bro, the God we serve is a good God. The God I serve is a good God, man. Please don't pick the other side over him. Please don't be blind because you don't know how much time we have left until he does come back. And when he does come back, while he will save a remnant of Israel, it's going to be some hell to pay for what they did too. And you and I are sinners too. So don't think you and I just going to be cool. Like you and I could just live the way we want to live just because we're not committing a genocide. We're just going to be cool no matter what because the Bible don't say that. Man, this was, wow. Do I have anything else to say? Yeah, no, I'm just disgusted. Keep God first as always, no matter what. And let me know what type of content y'all want to see this week. I love y'all.